Hey everybody, welcome back to another video. I am super excited today because we're going to be taking a look at the brand new Grandstream WP822 cordless Wi-Fi IP phone. And I'd like to thank Grandstream for sending this out to me. I'm super stoked about getting it hooked up to my Grandstream PBX. And what I plan to do is use it for about a week so that I can report back to you on the audio quality, well, at least my opinion of the audio quality, and its roaming capabilities throughout my home. I have 3 access points, so I'm looking forward to seeing how it hands off while on a call. That said, I'll be doing a couple of other videos on this device, one of which will be getting it connected to a cloud-hosted provider. Okay, so let's start off by looking at some of the features and specs of this device. We're at the Grandstream website, and you see here the WP822 seated in its cradle. Looking at the description, it describes it as a business-grade Wi-Fi phone that comes with dual-band 802.11a through AC Wi-Fi with advanced antenna design and roaming support. And I'm going to test out that roaming capability this week from access point to access point. So this way I could report back and let you know what happens as it roams from point to point. It says it has an 8-hour talk time. It has HD voice with dual mics and a configurable push-to-talk button on the side. It comes equipped with a combination of features. So again, we see that it has the dual-band Wi-Fi. It has 2 SIP accounts and 2 lines. Again, the HD voice with dual mic and noise shield technology. The battery is a 2,000 milliamp battery that provides about 8 hours of talk time and roughly, it says here, 200 hours of standby. It does have integrated Bluetooth, so we'll be able to connect to Bluetooth headsets. The button on the side is configurable for push to talk, and it does have a micro USB port and a 3.5 millimeter headset jack. So that said, if we come over here, let's take a look at the product sheet. Now it comes available in several different languages. We'll look at the English language, and I'll just bump this up a little bit so that you guys can see this better. So looking at the protocols and standards, you see it does support a plethora of protocols and standards. Here are the voice codecs and capabilities. As far as Wi-Fi, we mentioned earlier, it does support 802.11a through AC in both the 2.4 and 5 bands. It also has support for 802.11r, and then additionally it supports WEP, WPA, WPA2, WPA Enterprise, WPA3, and WPA3 Enterprise. It has a 2.4-inch 240 by 320 TFT color LCD, and again, Bluetooth is integrated. So that said, let's go ahead and take a closer look at what came inside the box. Okay, inside the box, centered is the actual handset itself. We'll take a closer look at that in a second. It did come with an installation guide, a handy dandy belt clip if you want to clip onto the device and actually clip it onto your belt. It came with the charging cradle, and it has the micro USB port on the bottom, as well as on the bottom of the phone, which is a pretty nice feature because if you don't feel like charging in the cradle, you can charge plugging in directly into the bottom of the phone, just like that. But in any event, that's about all that came inside the box. Let's see if I could zoom in and take a little bit of a closer look at this handset. Okay, so it's a pretty nice, sleek design. Actually, I like it quite a bit. And you can see the display came on just by pressing the menu button in the center here. You have up and down, left arrows. Now, the 3 buttons here right above the directional navigational arrows are soft keys. You have speaker button here, contact button here. So if you have contacts in your phone, you can bring up the contacts here. You have your on hook and off hook buttons, and then your regular keypad. At the bottom, you have your microphone. At the top, you have your ear speaker. On the bottom of the unit, again, you have the micro USB port and the ports for charging in the cradle. On the one side of the unit here, you have volume up and down buttons. These indentations, there's one on both sides, is to clip the belt clip on and keep it locked in place. Here is the configurable push to talk button. There's a 3.5 millimeter headset jack, speakerphone, speaker right here, battery compartment, it just slides off like so, and there's your battery. Now setting this up for the first time, to log into the user interface, the default username is admin, and the password is listed in the back of the phone underneath the battery, inside the battery compartment underneath this battery. So that's pretty much it. The phone, again, it's nice and light. It feels good in the hand. The display is very readable, and I can attest to that because I normally need to wear glasses for everything, and I like the display. It's very easy for me to see. So we're going to go ahead now and launch the Grandstream 6302 user interface and get this connected to the PBX. All right, so before we move into the Grandstream PBX UI to get the device connected as an extension, a few things I should have mentioned earlier but failed to. Number one, out of the box, the device came with half battery power. Now, your mileage may vary, but at half power, it did take an hour and 20 minutes to obtain a full charge. Number two, before you can configure it in the PBX, you have to get the device itself connected to your Wi-Fi network, and that's super simple to do. You're going to basically hit the menu button in the front, the display will light up, and then you're going to go ahead and hit the soft key to the right. That's the settings option. Once you hit into settings, you're going to go ahead and click on network, then choose Wi-Fi network. The device will scan for the available SSIDs. You're going to select your network, put in your password, and if all goes well, you should be good to go. Okay, so I'm signed into my Grandstream UCM 6302, the PBX. You're looking at the dashboard. Let's go down to extension. The first thing we have to do is click on extensions and create a new extension for the WP822. Now, I'm not going to focus heavily on how to create the extension because it's not the primary focus of this video, but we're going to go ahead and say add. We'll hit the blue button. We're going to leave it as a SIP extension. That's fine. The selection method is single. That's fine. We're going to leave it at the next available extension, which is 1005. The only change I want to make, and that's just a personal preference, the way I have my system set up, is to change the privilege from internal. And if you don't know what these different privileges stand for, you could check out some of the earlier videos I did on setting up the Grandstream PBX. Now, that said, I'm going to leave everything else set as the default. I am going to copy this SIP password because we are going to need that to set up the phone itself. So we'll copy that. And again, you can change everything here, including create your own SIP password. Let's go ahead and hit the save button and then make sure you hit apply changes. Okay, now that the settings have been applied, let's go over to the left menu and click on Other Features and click on Zero Config. And here you can see this right here is the Grandstream WP822. And if we click on it to add extension information like you do to a regular desk phone, you can see it's primarily blank. So the first thing you do is say, let's go up to the drop-down menu and select the model. Well, the model of this particular device is not here. So it looks as if we're not going to be able to configure this device through the actual PBX interface. However, we can click on the IP address and this will take us directly to the user interface of the phone itself. Okay, and here we are. We're at the login screen for the WP822. The default username is admin. And let me get the password entered in. Now remember, that password is behind the battery in the battery compartment. It's on the sticker underneath the battery. Okay, so now we're logged into the user interface and it says account 1, SIP registration no, and account 2, SIP registration unknown. And I'm not quite sure why it says that because this is the first time I'm attempting to configure this device. I have not been in this UI prior to doing this video. So anyway, whatever the case may be, let's go up to accounts. We'll go to account 1. We'll come over to general settings. And here, the first thing we need to do is make sure we make the account active. So we're going to say yes. We're going to give it a name, and I'm just going to call it Spare for now. This is the name that will appear in the display of the WP822. The important information here is the SIP server, IP address, or domain name. We're not going to use a secondary SIP server, but we are going to jump down to SIP user ID, which is the extension number. The same holds true for the authenticate ID. It's the extension number. And then here we're going to take that password that we copied from the PBX and paste it in here. Once we save and apply, we should have a successful registration status. So we'll go ahead and do that now. It says successfully applied. So let's go back over to the account status and let's refresh this page. And there we go. You can see the extension, SIP user ID 1005, and the SIP server 192.168.25.25, and SIP registration successful, yes. So now if we go back over to the PBX and we go back up to the extensions, we should see that extension 1005 is idle. It has successfully registered with the 6302. All right, so now that we have the WP822 connected to the Grandstream 6302 PBX, let's make a call over to my desk phone. I'm pointing to it down here. Hopefully you could see it. We're going to call that phone from the wireless phone, and hopefully, if all works, we should get a successful connection. And that's the 2135 ringing. So hopefully you can hear that. Let me switch over to the computer for a second so that you could see the bottom extension. I don't know if you could see that. It does say in use. Better yet, let me switch over to the active calls, and you should see the active call right here. Extension 1005, internally ringing extension 2003. And it just switched to voicemail. So I'm going to go ahead and hang up that call. Okay, so we were able to successfully call from the extension over to the desk phone. Now let's go the other way. After we test that, we'll go ahead and do one thing more. We'll call from the wireless 822 to my cell phone just to make sure external calls are working as well. So first, let's dial 1005 from the desk phone. Okay, and there you can see, hopefully, that the display is lit up and you can hear it ringing. So we have a successful call. Now we'll go ahead and we'll dial my cell phone from the handset, and hopefully the cell phone will ring.
Quick Tech Solutions.
And there we go. Okay, so in future videos, we're going to be covering more on the WP822 cordless IP phone. We're going to be taking a closer look at its UI, as well as trying to get it connected to a cloud-hosted PBX. So if you like this video, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Be sure to check out other videos that I have listed up above. Please remember to subscribe, like, and share this video. And I want to thank you, as I do in every video, for using my Amazon affiliate links. I know they don't change your price, but they do help out the channel. Once again, my name is Tony with Quick Tech Solutions. As always, please stay safe. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.